Everyone. I hope you had a pleasant Teachers' Day and a good Sunday. Uh, as discussed last time, we will proceed from where we left off last time. Anything anyone would like to share, I will just share the PPT. In the meantime, if there is anything one would like to share. So last time we discussed institutional leadership, the meaning of institutional leadership. I will just, and today our topic is going to be on collaborative visioning and planning. We will take the discussion forward to discuss collaborative visioning and planning. I will start with a brief recap of the key ideas from the last session. So we had discussed that institutional leadership is a social process. It's a social influencing process in which we change our own and others' practice for the better. We said that it is a process rather than any position of authority. We discussed distributed leadership. We said that the individual within the system and the individual within the school has several roles and responsibilities, and these roles are distributed across people. So there is no one individual who is responsible for the effectiveness of the school. Every member of the school is responsible for the effectiveness, thereby making this institutional leadership a process rather than a position of authority. We also discussed school culture, and we discussed certain elements of school culture which are relevant to us. And we said that these are some ways in which school culture can be developed. It is not the only way, there can be several ways as well. We looked at two schools last time, small studies of two schools, and we did an analysis of how they are, what's good in the school and what needed to be improved within a framework against certain areas. So we went through the process of examining the current status of the school, identifying what was good and what needed to be improved with the help of these case studies. And we did it in a framework which had some key elements of the school culture, which are not necessarily the only elements. We said these are examples. So we went through that process. We experienced the process of assessing the current status of the school. Joy, anything you would like to add here?
No, it's okay. Okay, go ahead.
Thanks. Okay. We had also shared some videos with you last time, links to certain videos last time. These were 3-4 minute videos related to school leadership. I was wondering if any of you had time to go through them and had any comments. So I will briefly talk about the videos. The first one was about knowing your school, and it spoke about how the principal understands the school. The principal does something called a learning walk, in which she goes around the school, looks at the classrooms, looks at what is happening in the classroom, uses this to provide academic support to teachers, uses this opportunity to be in touch with the children, and keeps track of what is happening in the school. So, like someone said last time, the principal's job is not only to sit in the office, but to go around. And this principal has made this process into a learning walk for herself. And the second video talked of establishing school community partnership. It talked about planning, on getting children into the school, on getting parents involved. It spoke about, it demonstrated an institutional culture which included the community. It showed how the principal would advocate the school to the community on the base of all the good things that are happening in the school. Another video spoke of understanding the student's background, wherein the principal, the teachers were aware of the family of the children, how many siblings they had, whether the siblings were in school, what was the parents' occupation. They were aware of all the influences that impacted school attendance. For example, seasonal migration during harvest, students having to work in the fields, etc. So that they had a very holistic understanding of the students' background. And when asked what she would want the students to be, the principal said she wants the students to become good persons rather than engineer, doctor, etc. And teaching learning was also, during teaching learning, the context of the children was taken into consideration during the class. So the principal, the teachers made an attempt to understand the students' background, use this to bring their context into the classroom. There was a video on reading and writing, which talked about addressing basic reading and writing skills, and need-based teaching plan. As in one of the case studies also, we saw that the teacher looked at the assessment results and then planned remedial classes. So that was also demonstrated here. And also the persistence of the teachers in getting to the root of the problem, of what it is that is affecting the ability of the students to read and write. This becomes even more important. As you all aware, the National Education Policy 2020 has laid a huge stress on fundamental literacy and numeracy. So this video demonstrated how the principal was addressing this very fundamental area. Another video talked about involving parents, about the need for parent-teacher meetings, of explaining the importance of schooling to parents, and also the fact that some parents were used as support. Some parents in the village would connect with the head teacher, and if some students didn't come to school, if they were missing school, necessarily from the same family, but from that village, then these parents would support the school in contacting those students and advising them to return to school. So in this way, this community, the parents had become part of the school community. There was a video demonstrated the inclusion of a learner with disability, a child who did not have arms. And despite apprehensions, the principal and the teachers together had found a way to keep him involved and active. Then there is a video in which the principal discusses the learning environment, what it means, and in the end says that ye sabki sehmati se ho raha hai. So everyone is moving along together. What we discussed about the need for everyone to work as a team, for responsibility to be vested, like Mukherjee sir said, not only in the school principal, but to be distributed amongst all other members of the school. So this collaboration, this was a demonstration of the collaborative culture in a school and the impact it can have. There was a video called Leading Teachers, where the teachers had made the classroom very attractive, not by spending any money, but by using books which were already there or the work children had done. All those things, all the effort the teachers had made, spoke about that. It spoke about teacher planning, which we also know is a very important aspect, which we discussed last time. So how the principal supported the teacher in planning, gave feedback, etc., and how the teachers demonstrated the kind of discipline and commitment that they wanted to be present in amongst everyone in the school. and leading teaching and learning, which talked about the active learning methodology, which the principal had not only introduced in the school but also supported teachers in implementing, and how the children were kept active. So these videos, as you see, demonstrated the things that we had discussed last time with the help of the case studies. So I will still suggest, in case you've seen them, that's wonderful. If not, then I would suggest that it'll take you just 15-20 minutes. They're just 3-4 minutes each. So anything anyone would like to add at this point, or Joy, if you would like to stress something?
So I just want to say that many of the principals who are already doing some kind of activities which are in the videos also.
Yes, of course.
I request you to also to do such small videos of 4-5 minutes regarding their school and all. So that also can be uploaded on YouTube and we can use it in any leadership training and all.
Yes.
That is the
Thank you,
request from
Joy.
my side. Yeah.
I think it's very important, like Joy said, probably all this is happening in your schools also. But sometimes when we talk about best practices, these are very, very small things that we do differently. So if these can be shared with the larger community, it will be helpful for everyone. So I endorse what Joy says. And anyone else would like to say anything at this point? I will, sorry. Yeah, I will proceed then. Uh, like we said, like I said at the beginning, this is about collaborative visioning. So, before we go on to collaborative visioning, we will talk about vision. Now, I am sure this is something that you all have done. You have created vision statements at some point of time, at some point in time during your professional career, or been part of the process. But we thought it would be useful to just review a few important things about what we mean by vision. So, as we all know, the dictionary simply explains the term vision as the ability to see or the formation of a mental image. So, in schools, with reference to schools or any other educational institution, a vision is the ability to form a mental image of the outcomes of the inputs and practices that are followed in an institution. So what are the outcomes of what kind of inputs we have and of the practices that are followed in the institution? When we look into the future, vision is the expected desired state of our efforts, which means that if we cannot aspire to something that is not achievable. Of course, it has to be ideal, but vision is what we desire of what we are doing right now and what we are capable of doing. So, vision is that outcome that we expect given the inputs we have right now or the inputs we can access, we can advocate for, we can receive. So, the inputs we get, and also the practices that are there in the institution, what will be the end result of that is the desired state. And to reach that desired state, thereby we can balance what we have currently and what we can access. So, in a sense, we are looking at a state of functioning and we are saying we want to reach a certain desired state. So, what are the inputs and what are the practices that we can reasonably have so as to reach that vision? So, vision is a very clear description and very brief description. In a few words, the vision says what the school should try and be after it has implemented used all its resources, include external stakeholders as well, and implemented certain strategies and thereby reach its full potential, whatever the best it can be. And it is also something that the people who are part of the school or other stakeholders in the school, they present a picture of the school that they would like to have, they would like to help create. So, to summarize, a vision is the preferred future. It is where we want to reach. And this preferred future has to be described. So, the vision will describe this preferred future briefly, clearly, and commit to it. Sometimes, when we say a lot of things, if we have a lot of goals and aims, then the core sometimes gets lost. These cores and these goals, these aims should lead up to a single simple description of what we want the school to be. And when we state this with all the stakeholders invested in stating this vision, then we are also committing to reaching this vision. Now, obviously, the vision has to be ideal, it has to be lofty, so that it is something that you look up to, you aspire to, and it engages you emotionally. So, it is something that you commit to, you work towards. But it also, at the same time, when we articulate this vision, it holds us accountable to act in a way whereby we can, which is aligned to our vision, whereby we can reach the vision. For example, if the vision talks about creating a learning environment in the school, then we are committed to practices like our relationship with students, the kind of learning opportunities we give them, the teaching learning approaches, the pedagogy, assessment. We are committed to all of that. If the school also says that it will be for the larger good of the community, then we are committed to expanding our strategies, our activities, our actions, our commitment to also the community around the school. So, in a way, this the vision becomes very important, because not only is it something that we aspire to and hold dear emotionally, it also helps us, makes us accountable to act in a way which is aligned to this vision. So, while vision statements should be ideal, they should also come from the heart. They should engage us emotionally. Anything anyone would like to say here? So, now that we have said that the vision is an ideal of where we want the school to be, it is something that we aspire to, but at the same time, it aligns all our efforts and also holds us accountable towards moving towards that effort. It has a certain behavior implicit in it, which is necessary to reach that vision. So, once we've defined what a vision is, let us examine what we mean by collaborative development of a shared vision and why it is important. So, excuse me, just give me a second, please. Yeah. So, the shared vision is the idea expressed of a common dream or goal of individuals in an organization, inspired into working to achieve this vision. So, a shared dream or goal of the individuals in an organization who have invested in this ideal state. They have thought about it, they've discussed and said, yes, this is the kind of school we want to be. And they are inspired into working to reach this vision. And why is it necessary? It is a democratic process where the collaboration we have stressed upon since the last session, and I'm sure it's something that has come up otherwise also. So collaboration is something which is very important. In a democratic country like ours, collaboration is a given. And it also provides an opportunity for everyone to contribute. There is a sense of equality to everyone being part of the process of vision development. The shared vision promotes a culture which is centered around people, not individuals, and is collaborative. Therefore, it is in keeping with the idea of institutional leadership that we have been discussing, where everyone works together towards achieving the effectiveness of the school. When you have a collaborative process for developing vision, it gives a voice to every member, whatever been the socio-economic background or whatever cultural background they come from, whatever processes that are define their development. Independent of that, it gives everyone a chance to collaborate and contribute. And when everyone contributes towards this vision, then the result is that everyone is equally committed to reaching it. So it is also important for us to remember that since the education system is completely a part of the society, and as we discussed last time, the community influences education, schooling deeply, and also the effective participation of children in school. So, therefore, the process of developing a vision for school cannot be isolated from that of other stakeholders, especially the community. Anything anyone would like to say here? I will proceed. So, what are the advantages of this shared vision? So, as we said, that everyone gets connected. Everyone has been part of the process of this vision development. Everyone has articulated their aspirations, and these aspirations have come from a diverse background. They have been discussed. Consensus has been achieved. So everyone is committed to this vision. They see their own personal aspirations in this common aspiration for the school, and therefore there is a deep commitment and emotional investment in reaching this vision. On the other hand, it also gives the leader an opportunity to see if his or her vision for the school is aligned with that of other stakeholders and the community the school is set in. This enables further, because you have a common vision, you have shared strategies, you have shared objectives, and helps the teams build a shared understanding of the way in which to proceed further. And also generates a very clear image of the future, that or the future scenario of the school, the future vision, dream, ideal of the school, the success of the school that everyone is trying to reach in consensus altogether. Anything to add, anyone? So then why, again, why is vision important? We have already said certain that it helps everyone move together towards a common purpose. But if we break it down further, vision gives us the direction that we need to take towards achieving goals. It is a very clear indication of where we want to reach. So, direction setting towards goals is one very important aspect of the vision. Secondly, it enables us to prioritize and facilitates decision making. For example, if our vision talks about a learning environment versus our vision talks about a well-maintained school, then in the first case, the priority would be towards building libraries, laboratories, towards investing in teacher professional development, having academic meetings, etc. Whereas if we're talking about a well-maintained school, then the focus would be to investing in the maintenance of the infrastructure, to invest in the aesthetics of the building. So a slight difference comes in the prioritization, and it helps also in decision making. It also helps improve the effectiveness of processes because everyone knows where they have to go. Everyone knows the purpose of what they are doing. From the non-academic staff to the community to the teachers to the school head, everyone is very, very clear of what they want to achieve, and thereby the processes are all aligned. No one is working at cross purposes. All teachers, all non-academic staff, community, etc., all working towards the common goal, as we discussed. Then it also enables the planning of operational strategies. By operation strategies, we mean the strategies which will help us reach the goal. What is it that we will do exactly? And this after considering whatever resources we have available and whatever challenges there are. Because, like we said in the beginning, a few slides back, you consider your current status, you consider what all it is possible for you to access or to generate on your own, and thereby after that you define a vision which is ideal but also attainable. And of course, like we already mentioned, vision is important because it leads to shared understanding and teamwork towards goals. And very importantly, it helps establish the institutional culture and identity. If whatever the vision says, like for example, the example we used earlier, towards creating a learning environment in the school versus um, being a resource for the community, the difference would be in the latter case, the institution culture would expand to include the community in a more integral manner, and the identity of the school would be related to its vision. So a school having the identity of a school in which the community and children take pride in as being a school which provides a wonderful learning environment for children, or a school which is very aesthetically pleasing, well maintained, or a school in which the community participates completely, and the school in turn contributes to the well being of the community. And it builds team commitment, the commitment towards a shared purpose and direction, because everyone has contributed to the development of this vision. Everyone is part of the whole process. Everyone is emotionally invested in the vision. So it builds the commitment to move towards a shared purpose and gives a direction. Next, of course, would anyone like to say anything here before we proceed further? You must have created, developed visions for school, your school, etc. Would you like to share the process, or would you like to share the vision you have articulated for your school? So I assume that you haven't reached that stage yet. So this further discussion, I think, will be useful for you. So Joy, I will hand over to you.
So I think vision is actually not a very visible thing, but it is an imagination of different things, what we are planning to do, what we are going to do, and who the people with whom you are doing this exercise, visioning. what in newspaper in India Today newspaper, it came कि 40 excellence school, English medium excellence school are opening in Chhattisgarh. I read in India Today, yeah. And these 40 English medium excellence school, they have a specific goal, and which is very broad and specific. But ultimately, every separate institution, all the 40 school and the leaders of the 40 school, they will enhance this vision, plan it, vision into practice. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody is saying something? Okay. So what will be the process for that? You know? And if in the next slide, when we see the whole process, actually you all will realize that if we are into the same process, or we are into first stage or second stage or in third stage, or you have to yourself have to analyze this. So Nimrat, can you show the next slide? So if we see, this is the one of the simplest way to understand steps for creating a shared vision. So like the first step is that we have formed some objective and the purpose of why this institution, where will the school will open, and who are the stakeholders and everything. For any institution, this is the first step. When we decide, we define the purpose. What is the purpose of this institution? The team and the members who are involving, what they will do, what they want to achieve. Why has this team been formed? Team comprises the representative of stakeholder in the school scenario. So this is the first step. Now, if you notice that here, the word team, here the word is like team being formed is regularly utilized. So, collaborative leadership is always highly emphasized in such kind of process, and which is very important. And if we have a little time, we also discuss on the team building process, which is directly related to this overall process, and which will also help us to understand where we are now and how we can do much better from today. Now, if we see the second step, future images. Create an image of an ideal future individuals. So as of now, I will be happy if some of you will share how you are visualizing your school. मेरा school कैसा हो? Now government have set some parameters, set some form, keep a number of libraries which have a good lab. Everything it is decided, but still, when I am standing as a principal of the school, as a leader of the school, I have some dream. I am thinking about that. What kind of color it will be? Where will be the classes will be run? What kind of academic creativity will be done? And something which I have visualized it. And here the school leader have an autonomy of that, how he is creating the images of future. So any one or two example, if you will give, then it will help us to understand this. Anyone, because in that group also many of the teachers have shared. Yesterday I have seen Vandana madam have shared his school's various activities. Then Manisha madam have shared. That day Lata madam shared, and already we have discussed that also. So any one of you can share if anything you have visualized to your school. मेरे school में क्या होना चाहिए? So it is my initiative,
Sir, hello. Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me,
Good
sir?
afternoon, madam. Yeah.
Hello. Yes, sir. As the name symbolizes that this is excellent English medium school. So the first vision I have is that the school should show excellence in all the fields. Likewise, the student should be very good, excellent in academics as well as extracurricular activities. Also, they should be excellent not only in the whole district but also in the state. That is my first vision. The second vision is as regarding excellency. The student should have developed the conceptual development. Not only they should perform very well in the examinations regarding the results, but also the knowledge about the content should be very good, and the staff should be also excellent in terms of sincerity, punctuality, taking the classes dutiful. So in all the fields, and regarding the sanitation, regarding the cleanliness of the campus, the premises, the classrooms, in every field the excellency should be focused and it should reflect from the school. That is my vision. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. It's very interesting and
Hello.
it very comprehensively visualized. Very nice, madam.
Yes,
Anyone
sir. Thank you, sir. Yes,
want to
sir.
share?
Yes.
Yeah, I will consolidate this also. What you have said, I will consolidate also. Anyone who like to share?
Yes, sir. I think in government excellence English medium school, there should be English environment first, and all the teachers, all the students should be interested in speaking in English. And first and foremost thing is that we should develop our school as a learning center, and where students as well as parents as well as the teachers should be studious every time, and um, there should be all types of activities which can develop the personality of the children in all the ways, and there should be all type of activities, cultural activities, games, and students should be perfect in all these things, and there should because of that school should have will have an extraordinary status, and people will think very positively about the school. uh, I think so, sir.
Thanks, sir. Thanks a lot. I think it's very clear and very comprehensive visualization. And
And our aim should be, sir, our aim should
yeah,
be to
yeah,
make good citizen,
yeah,
a law follower citizens, and discipline must be the first priority of the excellent English medium school. Then we can create
yeah,
disciplined citizen.
yeah. So I think uh, what both the principal, both the leaders, what have shared, more or less, others are also in the same line, and they have also visualized their school in this accordingly. The most interesting thing is that what I have seen, the common factor is we are focused into excellence because it is an excellence school. That means what are the processes, what are the academic, what are the activities, the culture, the environment, each and everything have excellent processes. That is the core, that is the center of this school, which is very much clearly depicting while sharing by you. It is very clear. And the key things and the most important thing which came out, what I think, what you have considered in visualization and your planning is it is an English medium school. So, what will be the environment of that school? Every children, every teachers, parents, every people, stakeholders who are in the school are comfortable with English. They speak in English. The processes they should promote this English language so that they are comfortable in that. Apart from that, assessment process talked about development process, what Manisha madam shared, how teachers are teaching, their teaching plan, their skill. So there must be some processes you have planned through which you can capacitate regular capacity building of teachers is planned. Recruitment process, how we select the best teachers in our school. Like we are the best principals in Chhattisgarh who are. So the team, the people who are the team of teachers, they should also should be the best one. So Ishwar sir, you are saying something? Please go on mute. Huh. So it's very motivating and inspiring points, and the foremost and most important is a good citizen. Ultimately, any school in this country, its core objective is how that school processes promoting to become every child a good citizen with all the values which are inherent in our constitution, like inclusion, then fraternity, brotherhood, and very nice. Thanks a lot. So now the create future images. These are the images which are very clear. Now the third step is very crucial step. Share individual images. Team members share findings or step two above with the group. Now this is my visualization. Should my team also visualizing the same? I have last day what I am saying that Manisha madam what shared, she alone and one person, they have done everything in their school because that time they have not done any kind of recruitment and all, but this is the job which need to be done at that time. So he have put in every 100% effort and completed the job. And I think that is the best part of the leadership. Now, when the team come, how I can influence those team, how I am involving the team so that they also inspire from me, inspire from these processes, and they are also familiar and they also contribute for share individual images, and then we come into a shared vision. Otherwise, many times it happens what I want to do, but my team don't want to do, then it is very difficult to achieve. So this process also require how the group of stakeholders, like what is talking in this step 4, team members shall now combine the individual images into a brief paragraph that capture the language and the image appropriate to the for the future. Like what are the points shared by Gupta sir and Rishabh Mehta? I have written there are 7 8 points. Now, the whole team of that school institution, they also write those points. Then we collate it, we bring it together and see what are the common things, what are the things which we need to give priority, what are the things which we can achieve in 1 year, what are the things which we can achieve in 3 years, which should do in priority basis. So this every processes we should do. Then the last and the final step is share the vision. Share the vision with all stakeholders, for example, parents, children, school, management, committee, in the case of government school. Second. Now, this also came in your sharing, madam, sir, where when you say that parents, teachers, they also participate, students, they also participate in school processes. You know, teachers also very much comfortable with students. So all the stakeholders, if we make a triangle, community, teachers, and children. So all the internal stakeholders, those who are day to day interacting with each other, they should know clearly how we have developed the vision and what will be the processes to achieve this vision. So very good example, and I think these step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which are already in the process. What you have shared, which is already you have initiated, and I think you are into step 3. When now the gradually you are recruiting people, the team will grow, and you are more concretely define the vision and the all activities. Yeah, Nimrat, next slide. So if we now broadly, I have already discussed the steps. So they are very simple questions which will more elaborate these steps. If you see team purpose, when we say, so why have been this team formed? Each member in the team should know that why this team has been formed. So the example came, it is a school of excellence. This is the purpose of the school. Everything, every processes in this school should be the excellent. It should be an example for the state. It should be the example for the region, district, wherever it is. If it is in Bastar, it is based in Jagdalpur. So for that region, everybody can learn from that school. That is the objective. So why part is very clear. What is the objective of this meeting? Then whenever the team is sitting, हम क्या करने वाले हैं? What now we are doing? If team is step one, we are sitting for defining team purpose. Then each one should know what is the objective of this meeting. Then what would be an ambitious and challenging vision for our establishment? So these are the three questions in the step. First, we will sit with the team and discuss, which will give what question I have asked, the same question you have to ask with the team. Then there will be some few points. Then we will move to step 2. Which is create future images. In this also, create an image of the school individually. Then group should record their individual thoughts on the discussion topic on flip chart or chart paper. One thing which I want to mention, when you will have the whole team once recruited, you can do this exercise. It is a half a day exercise or maximum little more time you will take for half a day. And you can do this with all the team members in the same process. You just ask them, everyone, to write what is your vision and how you visualize the school should be. So group should create an image of ideal future school individually, then group record the individual thoughts. And all of these are the things which we need to consider. I will read that. Now the National Education Policy 2020 is already announced and already in place, and gradually it will be implemented and planned accordingly in different states. The National Education Policy 2020 envision an education system rooted in the Indian ethos that contributes directly to transforming our nation sustainably into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all. So, excellence, what we are saying in the last discussion, this statement is also around saying that a good citizen, an excellent school, a vibrant knowledge center. One more important point I forgot, learning center. Yes. So Gupta sir also mentioned it is a learning center, which is also a very crucial point. I think this point is also same, vibrant knowledge society. So school as an institution is also a picture of a small society. You know, children are coming from different background, children are coming from different culture, religion, economic background. So you can see a small society in that school. So it should be a vibrant knowledge society so that high quality education should be provided. Now, school of excellence. So here it is a definition: model educational institution with good infrastructure and quality education facilities for students, including library and laboratories. This is already defined in the school of excellence, in which idea we have running this Forte school. Then quality management with result orientation. Okay. And the last point is autonomy to the principal. This is a very important point. Autonomy to the principals to work for the development and growth of a school and to select teaching staff and who will undergo professional development program. Now the third point, autonomy, is a very important. There are various stakeholder. You have registered a society where the chairman is the collector sir, then DO sir is also involved in that. But ultimately, the autonomy of institutional principal is very crucial in the whole process. Is institutional process. How he or she is planning to select a good staff, how they are planning for professional development training for the teacher, what are the processes which will ensure excellence in the school. So these all, everything should come in the create future images. Now in the third step, next slide. After considering, we are in third stage where we are talking about sharing individual images. Share the individual thoughts with other team members, display on the chart papers for everyone to see. which we have already talked about. Next, Nimrat. The team members shall now combine the individual thought images into a statement, brief paragraph that capture the language and images appropriate future. Note, completing your shared vision statement, a shared vision statement can be drafted in a group. However, it is a good idea to leave the final drafting to a single person or small volunteer group so as not to get stuck and slow down the process. Of course, final version. So, what you want to say that even all the members, all the team members have written their school images and all, then a small group can be formed who can collate this, because vision statement is always a one statement. So if we see now, actually I am based in Raigad, and every day I come in front of that our Raigad Excellency School, and it have a beautiful board outside, and it is a nice campus. No? So after doing this visioning exercise, we can also display it outside also. This is a school of excellence, and what is the vision of that school? So everybody can see that, and everybody can inspire them. So that is the process. Now we are going to next fifth step. So fifth step is share the vision. Team members should share the created shared vision statement with all the team members. In the school setup, head teacher should share the created shared vision with all stakeholders. For example, parents, children, school management committee. It should be taken care of that the shared vision is accepted by all. It is not accepted if it is not a shared vision. So we have to ensure that every stakeholder should be the part of this whole process so that it is accepted by all. Yeah, next slide. So this is the what we have talked about, and already you have shared about now. So you can do a self-analysis now where we are, what we have to do. But this is a process which I think everybody should do when you have completed the all the recruitment process. Because I know many of the schools have already doing this recruitment process, and one of the advertisement I have seen, which is in English in some uh, I think it is in Bilaspur school. I think in some website also, English teacher need English teacher for excellence school and all. It's like it's very interesting also. Now in government school is also doing this ad for such kind of recruitment. It's very interesting. So this is the overall process what we have discussed. So Nimrat, further. So these are some examples, na? Some of the schools who have done this activity, and finally they have prepared a statement. So that is, our school empowers all students to embrace learning, achieve their personal best, and build their emotional, social, and physical well-being. Our vision is to empower students to acquire, demonstrate, articulate, and value knowledge and skill that will support them as lifelong learners to participate in and contribute to the global world and practice the core value of the school: respect, tolerance, and inclusion and excellence.
Sir, I would like to add something
Yeah,
about
sure, sir.
the
Sure, sir. Please add.
autonomy of the school. So, ultimately, principal will be responsible for the result, what result he gives, whatever vision is, whether he achieves or not. If there would be lacking of teachers in the school, how we will able to achieve our aim? Recently, the numbers of classes have been increased, but the sanctioned posts are less. In such a case, there are only 5 primary school teachers but there are 8 classes in primary school from first to eight, first to five. There are lacking of 3 teachers at present. So how will you fulfill this autonomous school? How will it work? Who will who will fulfill the seats? If we say the DO, if we say the collector, they will say that we have the sanctioned post of only 5. So you run the school. How will you run the school? So in autonomy, make very strong to principal, and principal should be given the power to select any deserving.
Yeah, yeah, that's true, sir. Agree with you. There are various administrative challenges. There are geographical challenges, and I think in between each one of the principal are bringing their way out. Because I understand, like if we see Chhattisgarh region like Balrampur, region like Jashpur, and all, so economic
Whatever,
and
sir, whatever lacking is there in the school, to complete,
yeah,
to fulfill it, principal should have
yes,
some specific power to do it. We
yes,
have
yes.
started the school, and at present, so far as if I say about my school, the Nagar Nigam school has been framed as, has been transformed as an excellent English medium school. There is no funds. So in such a case, government should give a specific fund, some contingency fund in the hands of principal, which can be used for the benefit of school and children. If there is problem of appointing the teachers, principal should be made all in all. If there is shortage of teachers, because if the time will go on, time passes, and later on we will able to do nothing. During the time, we should complete human resources. Only after we will able to give the desired results, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes,
My stress is on to the autonomous school. Autonomous school, the power should be given to the principal to take decisions
yes,
about certain issues,
yes,
especially about the posting of or the posting of deserving teachers. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
agree with you, sir. Autonomy is theoretically the meaning of autonomy is that it have a certain power, certain authority, and certain responsibility, accountability, which you need to be practiced and exercised by the concerned youth. I agree with you. And these are the challenges, and hopefully, gradually, the school now it is initiated, and fortunately, in the present pandemic situation, these schools are open. So I I hope after this pandemic and all things will change and many things will happen. And due to this also, a lot of things are not happening as per desired. That may be also one reason, maybe. But your point is very valid. What you are want to mentioning about this autonomy. I agree with you. So now we will move to the next vision. So these are the some examples of vision what we have discussed in our last session. So now we will move ahead, Nimrat. Okay. So now let us talk about this thing, because whatever we are doing, what we have visualized, whatever vision we have made, ultimately it is very crucial how our team is performing. So another 5-10 minutes I will just discuss. There is a model He is a person whose full name is Bruce Tuckman, and basically he is an behavioral researcher, human behaviors and team building, team dynamics. He have done many researches on that. And I know very well you all will face such kind of challenges in your school regarding these team processes and all. So if we see this model just to understand, and you can also self-analyze this where already team is there, in which stage we are. So what he has explained, there are 4 stages of team development. You know? So in that, one part is task oriented and second part is behavior oriented. So whatever points written above the forming, storming, norming, and performing, they all are task oriented. We have to do, and the points which are written below the performance, forming, storming, sorry, norming, and performing, they all are behavior kind of thing. Now, if you see, when you started this institution, and when a group of people joined you, that is the forming stage. You know? In what will we do in this stage? We agree on common goals, what we want to do, identify similarity. We want to know each other. What are the qualities? What is the strength? What is the weakness? Establish a base level expectation. What are the expectation? So these are the activities which we do normally when a group of people join together in a new institution for a new goal. And the behavioral processes what going on in the forming stage, making contact and bonding, developing trust, member dependent. Because if we want to work as a team, these are the things which is very important. The trust part. Normally, it is lacking. If any team is not performing, that means they have some issue of trust and now, when we form this team and people get together and all know each other, they know their skills, they know their knowledge, how they are. Now, the second step came is which is crucial stage, that is storming. Now, in storming process is more as a brainstorming. Identify power and control issues, gaining skill in communication, identify resources, then express different ideas, feelings, and opinions, reacting to the leadership, members independent for counter independent. Because always it is important for any leader how your team is looking to you, how I am demonstrating that is inspiring for our team, how my team member is behaving from his inside. Many times it is happened by force or by fear. Normally, people have a different body language and all, but actually he is inspired by you or not. So this storming stage is a good process when these all negotiation, argument, discussion, and a collaborative learning process and all things goes on in the storming stage. Now, after this process, we come into norming process. Now, norming process is we set some rules. We members agree about roles and processes, who will do what. Now, there are many things, and everything leaders will do, it's not necessary. Now, leaders can deploy, who can do better. For example, if you have organized like Teachers' Day, recently what I have seen, there are many Teachers' Day celebration in the so you have, I am sure you have distributed the role. Who will manage the stage? Who will do this logistic? Who will do the welcome? Who will prepare the speech and all? So you have prepared, you have formed, you have stopped, you have prepared a small norms. Who will do that? That is a very small example, but for a larger goal, it should be a very comprehensive norming process also. And the last stage is performing stage. Now we have gone through this all 3 stages, then ultimately that is the performance stage. Achieve effective and satisfying result. Member find solution to problems using appropriate control. Members work collaboratively. Members care about each other, and the group establishes a unique identity. Members are interdependent. So this is a Tuckman a model and which is very well, because I am also leading a team of 27 people, and they all are from different university and different background and organizations and all. So all the process, these 4 steps, in every processes, institutional processes, I am also following the same. And in some processes, I am in a performing stage. In some processes, in norming stage. I can give you a brief example. Like we are planning to do a week celebration on Gandhi, because next 2 October there is a Gandhi Ji. So I have formed a small team. Now storm team have formed. Now they will storm what they will do, what is the objective of that day, what will be the processes, whom we will call, everything. Then who will do that. Then gradually they will shift to norming stage. And ultimately on the October first week, we will perform. Then how many teachers join, how many participants join, how it is go about, and this is it. This is the very natural process actually. If you self-analyze, you are also doing the same process, but it helps us to understand and see these things more deeply. Okay, next slide. We will discuss little about the next slide. Then we will have some experience also, if any. So here, looking into the Tuckman model in the last slide, these are the key points, which we need to see. Each step built on the previous one. If you analyze, if our any program fails or we have not achieved as per decided, there is some step which we have not done proper. Because each step builds on the previous one. Each step prepare for the performing stage. All the steps is ultimately preparing the performing stage. Skipping any step affect performing negatively. With every new challenge, the process repeat. So in an institution, in our there will be a various process like assessment process hoga. It will be quarterly, half yearly, annually. Setting up a library, cultural program, sports day, many more. So every new challenge, there will be a same process we have done. You have to become a small group, a forming group, then they will storm, then they will norm, and then they will perform. So if you broadly see the stage, the first forming stage is it's a orientation kind of stage. Then the storming stages in which power struggles go on. Kaun kya karega? Who will do what? What are my skill? What are my strength? What are my weakness? Who can do which better? So power struggle will be go on. Now in norming stage, there is a strong cooperation process and integration process, in which everybody decides what I have to do, where I can fit myself, what I will do better and all. And ultimately, this performance stage is synergy, when clearly your all efforts will be seen there. So these are the some points. So next. These are some elaborative point on this all the stages. I can send you for post reading also, so I can pause for a minute, each one can read this. If you want to discuss, we can discuss, or anybody can read this, like in stage 1 forming what actually they want to say, then stage 2 storming what they want to say, and then norming. And it's very interesting and very simple also. And already as a leader, I think also in where you are working with the team, the process is there. It's just to collect our experience. Anybody want to read or help me to read? Okay, I will read once. Then we will.
I'll read it.
Yeah, sure, man.
Hello.
Yeah,
In
please go
the
ahead.
stage one, which is forming. Hello, is my voice clear?
Yeah,
Hello.
clear, ma'am. Your voice is very clear.
Okay. Okay. So in the stage one, which is forming, individuals are not clear on what they are supposed to do. Then the second is the mission isn't owned by the group. The third one is wondering where we are going. Then the other one, no trust yet. Then high learning, no group history, unfamiliar with group members. Norms of the team are not established. People check one another out. And the last one, people are not committed to the team. Should I read the second stage also?
Yeah. Please go ahead, madam.
Yeah. The second stage is storming. Roles and responsibilities are articulated, agendas are displayed, problem solving doesn't work well. People want to modify the team's vision, trying new ideas.
Your voice is breaking, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Should I stop reading?
Now it is clear. Now it is clear.
Okay. Anxiety abounds. People pushed for position at top. Competition is high. Cliques drive the team. Little team spirits. Lot, lots of personal attacks. Level of participation by members is at its highest for some and its lowest for some. Stage 3 is norming. Success occurs. Team has all the resources for doing the job. Appreciation and trust build. Purpose is well defined. Feedback is high, well received and objective. Team confidence is high. Leader reinforces team behavior. Members self reinforce team norms. Hidden agendas become open. Team is creative. More individual motivation. Team gains commitment from all members on direction and goals. And in the last stage 4, performing, team members feel very motivated. Individuals defer to team needs, no surprises. Little waste, very efficient team operations. Team members have objective outlook. Individuals take pleasure in the success of the team. Big wins. We versus I orientation. High pride in the team. High openness and support. High empathy. High trust in everyone. Superior team performance. Okay to risk confrontation.
Yeah, thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks a lot. So, in the last slide, what Madam read, it is quite comprehensive, and you just realize that it happened. There is a situation because we are all are human being, and every individual uh, have want to come in front, you know. If anything decided, who will do that, so there is a chances of competition, there is a chances of little team spirit, there is a chances of trying new ideas and all. And whatever these four steps, a leader's role is very crucial in that. How leader is facilitating these all processes, because in between there are various team member, there is a chance they can be very motivated, they can be very demoralized because we have not listened. So in the all processes we have to be take care of these processes ki everybody is participating, every team member is participating, you know. This contribution of team member, how they are saying their words, Are we are giving space to everyone or not? So everything should be done, observed, and facilitated by leaders. Then only we can come into this fourth stage and ultimately high trust, high empathy, high openness, support, high pride, and all these things will be achieved. So in the next slide, it will give a clear picture of this process. If we have action step forming to storming, if we see, we set a mission, set a goal, establish role, recognize need to move out of forming stage. Leaders must be directive, figure ways to build trust, define a reward structure, take risk, bring group together periodically, assert power, decide one and for all as a team. Now, action from storming to norming. So, from second step to third step, team leader should actively support and reinforce team behavior, facilitate the group for wins, create positive environment. So, before 2 minutes before what I am saying, that is the line, the same line is written. Team leaders should actively support and reinforce team behavior, facilitate the group for wins, and create positive environment. Leader must ask for and expect result. Recognize, publicize team wins. This is a very important. If any member have done better, you should appreciate and recognize that he have done better. That is also a motivation for each member. Agree on individual's role and responsibility. Buy into objectives and activities. Listen to each other. Set and take team time together. Everyone works actively to set a supportive environment. Have the vision, we can succeed. Request and accept, build trust by honoring commitments. So this is from second to third step. Now, the third to final step, performing state. What is that? Maintain tradition, praise and flatter each other, self-evaluate without a fuss, share leadership role in team based on who does what the best. This is a very important point. Share leadership role in team based on who does what the best. It is the good process to identify, give them recognition, what they have done the best, and that will actually motivate them and they will inspired by you on this process. Share reward and success, communicate all the time, share responsibility, delegate freely within the team. So this is also a very crucial point, delegate freely. Commit time to the team, keep raising the bar, new higher goals, be selective of new team member, the team spirit. So here another one important point is that keeping raising the bar. If we have set some goal, if we have achieved that, then again we should raise our bar. What will be the next step? So this is the whole consolidated process of this team building stage, and I hope you all of you have experienced it in your life also, and already you can analyze that where we are. We are in second stage, third stage, or in which process we are in performing stage or in norming stage or okay. So Nimrat, please go ahead now.
So I will actually request the principals to share their experiences. Like Joy was saying, it would be very relevant for us if you could share your experiences. Your experiences of taking a team together. That is what we are interested in.
Yeah, any one of you can give some examples, and that maybe there is a situation then you have decided, and then finally you have get it done. So if there is any example in the same school also, and your past experience will be okay. Because have larger experience in the previous school, so you can share experiences from that also. No problem.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was sharing the PPT. So let us then proceed ahead. We took forward our discussion on institutional leadership to go on to creating a vision. We said that the vision has to be developed collaboratively, which means all our stakeholders have to be involved. These stakeholders would be learners, parents, teachers, maybe panchayat members, the sarpanch, even the Bhojan Mata in the school. There would be many people who would be involved in this entire process. And collectively, we would reach a vision. We would develop a vision statement. Once we have a vision statement, then what? First of all, we have to create this vision in such a way that it is rooted in reality, but has the potential to reach the ideal. So let us go back to the case studies that we did yesterday, where we discussed two schools and we said that what is good, what needs improvement. We discussed all of this. Now, as Sir also rightly pointed out, that sometimes you don't have the basic infrastructure, you don't have the people, you don't have the wherewithal to be able to reach a vision. So even when you're developing your vision, you need to keep in mind your status. So that is an important part of the process of developing a vision. Yesterday we discussed two case studies, and in that we looked at various areas. We saw that in school one, the good things that were happening were that the school was reaching out to the community, they were visiting the community to encourage parents to enroll their children in school. Parents were being invited to school. There was a regular interaction with teachers, and they were also parents. There was a regular interaction between the parents and the teachers to inform parents of the progress of their wards and how they can be helped, etc. And parents were also invited to school on a regular basis. We saw that the school had children with disabilities, and they were being included in the classroom to the best of the teacher's ability. We saw that morning assembly was very participative, with learners contributing to the whole process. We also saw that there was an effort in the classrooms to have the children be seated in circles so that more and more children could be included. Where the school in the classroom environment was concerned, we found that it was democratic, interactive. The classrooms were very attractive. It was a very motivating environment in the classroom. Teachers were not only preparing lesson plans, they were also displaying them. They were looking at the assessment results of children and using them for remedial classes. Where teaching learning was concerned, the teachers were using aids effectively. If you remember, there was a model of a skeleton which was being used effectively. Various activities were being done in the classrooms. There were classroom discussions involving the children and teacher, and there was appreciation for children who contributed, and they were motivated. The whole intent was to motivate all the other children as well to contribute. What needed improvement in the school was that there was no toilet and there was no school boundary. There was a toilet, but it was locked and it didn't have water. The school did not have a boundary. Maintaining the records was a struggle for the principal, as she felt that it was taking up too much of her time. Where attendance was concerned, children were not attending very regularly. Where the MDM was concerned, the quality of rice was supposed to be not that good. And corporal punishment was something that was in existence in the school. The SMC was not, a meeting was not held regularly, although there was an interaction with parents, like we said, and visits to the community. The SMC was not regular, and the head was not involved, not very interactive with the parents, with the community. If you remember, parents said that the teachers come to the community and they are interactive, but the head is not really involved. We also learned that there was a prize distribution plan, and children were preparing for a dance for this prize distribution, but only some children were pulled out of class, and they were missing their classes, a few of them, to participate in this process. Teachers were frequently out of class for official duties. There was one teacher who was not planning. While there was one who was planning, there was another one who was not planning at all. It was found that in one of the classes, there was no blackboard, no proper arrangement, and safety was also an issue. Hygiene was also an issue. The Bhojan Mata had a cough. She was coughing while she was cooking. The children did not wash their hands before eating. There was a threat of their plates being stolen. During the school hours, crackers were burst, and no one knew who was responsible for this. And there was broken glass in the window. So I hope this little description, this recall, has helped you to remember what it was that we discussed. Now, suppose you are the principal of the school and you have to sit down and start assessing the current status. Now, this is an illustrative checklist. It's an illustrative checklist for evaluating a school. These are not the only indicators that are possible. It is possible that there are other indicators, which is why you will see that we have left some rows blank. So if we have to proceed on developing a vision for the school and then developing we would have to identify what all is it that is present, what all is it that we have to work with. So some things are that are present, that we can work with, we can build on. They will contribute to our reaching our vision. Some things which are missing, which are not there, we will have to see how to make sure that we get access to them. Or we will have to limit our vision to be able to reach where we are with the current status. So another thing that Joy and I would like to stress here is that the vision is not forever. The vision changes. For example, if we were talking about visioning a month back, what we would have referred to would have been maybe the National Education Policy of 1986, modified 1992, or we would have mentioned the National Curriculum Framework 2005. But now we are talking about the National Education Policy 2020, in which certain changes will come which may or may not impact your schools. For example, your school may or may not add a primary section. Your school may or may not become part of a school complex. So that those are all things that the state policy will decide. So some things are out of our hands, and because of that, we also have to remember that we cannot make a policy, make a vision forever. It has to be always reviewed and refined. So with your present circumstances and what the role of your school is, what the expectations of the stakeholders are, you will develop a vision. to help you identify where exactly, what are the things that you need to strengthen and what are the things that you need to improve. We are going to take you through an exercise of filling up this checklist on the basis of the case studies. We are going to simulate the exercise of the process of identifying strengths and areas for improvement. Joy, would you like to add anything?
This screen is not visible, Nimrat.
Screen is not visible. Oh no. I'll just check.
Mine is not visible.
Oh, it's still sharing the. I am so sorry. PowerPoint. Very sorry about that. Let me stop. Share again. I could see the document in front of me, so I assumed everyone could see it.
Now it's clear.
Yeah. So, anything you want to add to what I've said, Joy? Or
Basically, this is an checklist which we have prepared referring our document NCF and National Education Policy and all. And this is always we can add more according to the school and all what we need. And we also appreciate every school should develop their own checklist. But to understand the process, we are taking these as example, like in safety and security. Obviously, we have not used this COVID precaution related to prevention of infection due to COVID-19. But now we have added this point because in present scenario, in future we have to consider this. So it's a dynamic thing. There are basic fundamental thing which will be common for all the school, but school is a unique institution. Be some points which we should add according to that. But this evaluation process will help you to understand where we are, what we want to do, what we want to work, which areas we want to do that. This should be also done with all stakeholders and you closely. That will all also help. And you can also suggest that. I think if you think in teachers we should add this, then we can also do that.
so, what Gupta sir said, adding on the basis of that. So that is what we are trying to say is that this is a dynamic list, and it is just something that you should have to put down in a systematic manner so that you can identify your strengths and areas for improvement, the things where you need support. And it is possible that you can do it through this rating or you can have it qualitative. It is entirely up to you. So if we go through the example of the case study which we just reviewed, to that school, would you say the school has infrastructure as per norms? What kind of a rating would you give it? Would you like me to go through the? Would you like to go through the case study again? Basically, the indicator is: does the school have infrastructure as per norms? So this is about the physical environment. So depending on whether it's a primary UPS or a combined or a secondary, there will be certain norms. So the physical infrastructure would be an important part of the areas of strength or improvement for a school. If we do not have sufficient classrooms as per the norms, if we do not have SCR, PTR as per the norms, then the learning environment gets impacted. Therefore, identifying whether the school has infrastructure as per norms is an important aspect of the physical environment. So if you consider the case study, would you say that it has infrastructure as per norms or not? Were all the children in their classrooms, or was or some classes combined or not being held within rooms? If you recall that there was a teacher who was in the outside taking a class outside without a blackboard teaching mathematics. So I would say that the school did not have infrastructure as per norms. Whether the school has a ramp or not, we don't know yet. It is not mentioned in the case study, but the physical infrastructure which leads to inclusion is, I think, a very important part of any school. Another indicator would be that whether the infrastructure is maintained. So here also there is an issue. If we recall, the case study said that the school did not have proper maintenance. So again, this would be an area of concern.
No furniture. Madam, there was no furniture there.
Yes, ma'am, no furniture was there. Yes. So that is also a very big problem. So even the classrooms were not adequately sourced. Laboratories, we don't know. There was no mention, but we think that this is library and laboratories are a important indicator of the physical environment of the school, the basic amenities, the facilities for learning that are important. And toilets were definitely not functional. So that becomes another aspect of the physical environment. Is there anything else that needs to go into the physical environment, do you think? We can make furniture more explicit, like Madam said. Joy, anything you want to add about the physical environment?
Nothing. Nothing. All thanks.
Okay. So we'll just continue. Next is
So we can specify toilets for uh,
girls
girls.
and boys. Yeah.
We can mention it.
Yeah. Then safety and hygiene. Are the school premises safe and hygienic? We already know that the toilet is not clean. It is not hygienic. About precautions related to prevention of infection due to COVID-19. As Joy mentioned that this is a recent trouble that we are all facing. So I don't know if there is a state policy now related to how safety with respect to COVID-19 has to be maintained. So this would have to be one very, very important aspect of our safety and hygiene factors once schools reopen. Then the midday meal, we do know that the Bhojan Mata was not well. She was coughing, preparing the midday meal at the same time. Children did not wash their hands before eating. So we cannot say that the midday meal was prepared and served in a safe and hygienic manner. About the safety of the child, preventing them from getting hurt. The window, one of the windows, the glass pane was broken, and there was a chance that a child might get hurt. So this is also a problem. I remember one school I went to where there was a swing.
Those were also used by the children.
Sorry, ma'am?
Crackers. The children were playing
Yes.
with crackers, so not
Yes,
safe at
absolutely. No,
all.
yes, absolutely, ma'am. Right. Thanks. So these small things that we don't even become aware of, like for example, I was referring to the school I went to where there was a swing for children, but the swing was placed in such a way that if the child swung hard, they would go into a barbed wire fence. So any child whose legs were longer or who swung too hard, there was a chance of going into barbed wire fence. So these are the small things that we have to take care of, and these are things that we can take care of without going to any extra going for any extra support or investment or asking for someone else to help. So safety and security, an important aspect. Then teaching, learning. So in the case study that we read, the quality of teaching, learning was uneven across the school. There was one teacher who was good in using aids, in involving children and getting them to discuss things, and generally including everyone, and also who would plan the lesson properly, everything. And another teacher who was not paying attention to any of the children except the ones right in front, who was not using any, even the blackboard was not there, and doing mathematics by just dictating sums and things. So the quality of teaching, learning was uneven across the school. So in this situation, what do we do? When we are looking at areas of strength and uh, areas for improvement, then what do we do in a case where something is uneven across the school? Do we put it as a strength area, or do we put it as an area for improvement? It depends on how you look at it, actually. I don't know, Joy, what you think, but I would say that if it's an area of improvement, if we can leverage the strength of the teacher and supporting the other teachers, but having a culture of sharing across the school, of collaboration, of having meetings in which teachers discuss how to help each other, etc., then it becomes an area of strength. Otherwise, it stays as an area of improvement. So it depends on how the perspective you take it, how you look at it, how to leverage whatever you can. Anything to add, anyone so far? Joy?
Yeah, no, right. It's good.
Then the learning environment. The learning environment, how attractive the classroom is. It was, again, one classroom was attractive, one wasn't. Interaction between learners and teachers, in one classroom this was good, in the other it was not so good. About extracurricular activities for learners, only some learners were involved while others were left out, and the ones who were involved also had to miss their classes to go ahead and participate. So, again, this would be a balance. So maybe if you want to give it a score, it would be somewhere in the middle. But if you want to look at it qualitatively, then across the school, this kind of an environment has to be maintained. So if in your vision, obviously, good teaching learning processes are part of your vision. So when you look at your current state and where you want to get, where all the teachers, all the classrooms have a very positive learning environment, then the strategy you take depends on the strengths you have. For example, here we said that in the teaching, learning, or in the learning environment, one set of one teacher is doing very well, the other is not doing so well, then you have a collaborative culture processes within the school so that they can work together and move towards the vision. Then administration and management, the maintenance of school records, teacher attendance, attendance of learners, distribution of responsibilities amongst teachers, and functioning of the SMC. So here we see that maintenance of school records is a problem with the principal. Teacher attendance is also sometimes an issue. Attendance of learners also an issue. Distribution of responsibilities amongst teachers is something that we don't see any evidence of. In fact, in the other case study, like we discussed on Saturday also, it's almost a problem that when the principal is not in the school, then people don't really know what to do. They're kind of lost. So this would be another aspect in reaching your vision. You would have to, again, I go back to the same culture of taking everyone together, of distributed responsibility. These would be strategies you would employ to achieve your vision. The functioning of the SMC is again something that really needs to improve in that school. And the parent who quoted in the case study says that the SMC although she is a member of the SMC meetings are not held, they are not called to the school. So to achieve your vision, you would have to decide how to, this obviously is not an area of strength, so you would have to decide how to improve the functioning of the SMC. So the strategies you employ would be such that you would reach your desired vision, your desired goals, where the involvement of the community is involved in the functioning of the school. Then teachers have to be as per the norms, not just the PTR in secondary schools, middle schools, you have to have subject-based norms also. So these would be necessary for achieving your aim. If this is an area of concern, then when you do your planning, it has to be flagged. This is something we'll discuss tomorrow. Planning by teachers, again, not regular across all members of the school. Similarly, use of tests, results, examinations, reflection meetings. This is not something that we see happening in the school, really. So this is a strategy that can be used to bring all teachers at par and to take them forward to achieve to enhance the effectiveness of the school, to achieve the vision. Then school community partnership. The community contributes to the functioning of the school. Now, this is not something that is seen in the first case study, but in the second case study, if you remember, this community had contributed to the building of the boundary wall. The community had contributed to the garden and was very involved in the functioning of the school. And in both, the parents are kept informed of the progress of their wards, which means that the relationship with the parents would become a strength area in both schools, but community contribution to the school would become an area of concern in one case and an area of strength in the other. Then the school culture, the participation of students in school activities and relationships between members of the school. These are two important components. We discussed some other components also, but these are components which are very evident. So these also become an area where you will decide whether this is an area of strength or an area for improvement. So this kind of an analysis, again, like Joyce said in the beginning, this is an illustrative checklist. Every school should develop its own, because depending on what their vision is, they need to break down the areas which are important, the areas which they need to examine as something that will help them achieve their vision or will hold them back from achieving it. So this kind of a checklist should be developed by every school and used to further the progress towards the vision. Joy, anything to add?
Good.
Anyone else would like to add anything? Someone would like to say something?
So, just a 2 minute, I will add, then we will go ahead then. What we have discussed is that there should be some framework, a reference framework, which help us to know our school better. And these are some evaluation framework, like these help us in better planning our school. So what we will discuss tomorrow, which is a school development plan and all. So these framework is directly linked with that. And if you see, you are already doing this. So many times, why we are discussing this? Even as a leader, I understand this, but my team should also understand this. Otherwise, we will see ourselves very far from performance stage. That is the point which I thought to add upon.
Yes. Wait. So anything anyone else wants to add? If not, then Joy and I thought that we could have something on a positive note. So a little, what do I call it? A little few slides about tenacity and perseverance. So I will just play these.
Nimrod,
Sorry?
I will read it once, na?
Okay, all right, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
How you have you ever watched birds when they have to face adverse circumstances? They spend day after day building nests, collecting building material, sometimes brought from distant places. And when the most and
Should I do it?
actually,
I'll do it. One sec. I'll read it from my phone because.
actually your name is displaying there.
Yes, I know. That's what I'm looking at. Okay. So, and when it is almost ready and they prepare to lay eggs, actions of the weather, human beings, or other animals destroy the nest which was built with so much care, effort, and love. What does the bird do? Stops and gives up? Not at all. Starts over again until the first legs are laid in the nest. Many times, just before chicks are born, animal, a child, a storm once again destroys the net, but now with its precious contents. It hurts starting from zero. In spite of it all, the bird never hushes or gives up, carries on singing and building, building and singing. Have you ever felt that your life maybe your friends are not what you dreamt of? Do you feel like saying, that's enough? It is not worthy effort. This is too much for me. Are you tired of starting over and over again? The struggle of everyday life, the betrayed trust, the failed dreams, the broken promises, the unreached goals when you were almost getting there. Even if life hurts you again and again, do not give up. Pray and put your hopes in front of you and go forward. Do not worry if you get scarred in this process. It is something you can expect. Collect all the bits and pieces of your broken hopes and dreams, put them together and go forward again. Does not matter how many obstacles you have to overcome, do not lose courage. Trust God and keep on going in faith. Life is a constant challenge, but it is worth to accept it. And above all, like the birds, keep singing. So I think that is what we have for today. Anything you want to add, Joy, or anything
Very
anyone?
good thoughts, madam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes,
Anyone wants to
very good
share?
thoughts. Once I had read this quotation, that hello. Yes, madam. Very good thoughts. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello.
yes. Now we can,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I am just sharing that very good thoughts you expressed, and the instances you gave. Once I had read somewhere that everything is lost, but the hope remains. Hello.
Wonderful, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Wonderful.
hope
Thank
should
you.
be there. Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I think someone else was also saying something. Thank you very much, Manisha, ma'am. Anyone else? So we can close for today then, Joy?
Yeah, its time is also over now.
Yeah.
1 minute.
Thank you very much.